Oriana ban. What a surprise against Faker. Not going to give Senna over. Vi and, of course, Sejuani for Lucid, but he could still potentially play Rel. It's one of his specialities. Not going to first pick Ashe, so we're going to first pick the Karma for Showmaker. He has been the Karma player on this team. And Aatrox Lucian. T1 still deeply committed to this Lucian.
I imagine a jungle pickup makes sense here. Can also go for a top lane, but
like a TF or something.
Yeah, maybe. If you are afraid that's going to get banned away.
Or get a good support for your Smolder.
Galen is definitely Emilio type.
We have a sweet new YouTube thumbnail for the live stream, guys.
Very much worry about the laning phase, and right now this comp has.
Is Lucian Nami this strong?
So if you don't end up locking down Rel, I think you're really going to struggle.
T1 thinks it is. Was it good against Genji? It was not. We're back to blinding the old Aatrox for Zeus. It's worked very effectively for T1. Just play it at all possible times in every single matchup.
So a change?
Yeah, Karmas and Jao, we've been seeing a lot of this.
And I do like it a lot. I'm just shocked given...
So we're taking away the Rel as also, so that allows for the Talia pick.
Generally, Maokai's banned.
Yeah, it's that type of style.
Maokai has been getting through pick and ban a lot more recently.
Does great in the 1v1. Is going to shut down Zeus. I would be pretty hesitant on that.
So no Lee Sin either. They just let the Maokai through. That's a bit interesting.
But what does Owner go here? Because so many of the standard picks.
Poppy isn't great here.
The choice here.
Nocturne.
Seeing a decent amount of Nocturne.
All right.
Can be one of those picks that you.
I mean, this is a classic Owner pickup. The Nocturne, and you do have like double global synergy with Talia, right? So you can set up for a lot of damage from Gumayushi. It also cloaks him so he can walk up more effectively into the front line, gives you backline access onto the Smolder. I think that's pretty key here, is that you have some pretty big AD backline access between Aatrox and Nocturne onto Smolder, and then you're supposed to win lanes here. You can also gank bot by coming bot with Talia and walling in. So we should see a lot of focus onto Smolder here. Otherwise, this is just like a protect the Smolder comp, right? Kingan's job in the late game is just going to be marking flank targets to duel so they don't get in, and then you're able to kite pretty effectively with Karma, Maokai, and Milio. So really massive front line, but it's going to come all down to Aiming's ability to basically hyper carry on the Smolder and survive the laning phase, which is not going to be trivial versus Talia Nocturne post 6.
It's like I'm going to go in by myself. It's not a Rel that kind of sets up the fight for the damage.
Is it to be fair? No idea what I was.
So a lot of this is just going to depend on how fast Smolder can stack. And it's kind of scary because T1's one of the best early games teams in the world. And T1, over the last 2 years, has been the best team in the world, probably, at diving bot. So it's a risk. You got to say, it is a risk.
A great addition to the LCK.
Just gives me more of an excuse to talk about anime, so I'm very happy. Not that I need to.
Is there any anime character that jumps out at you that's like Lucian?
Like in terms of vibe?
Is Lucid a fraud?
Yeah.
No, he's just a rookie. He's had some good games, guys. Do I know the score of this series? Yes, I do.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm trying to figure. It's hard to make the direct one-to-one comparison, I think, in a lot of cases. It's more so skin lines than anything else.
Would you say that Gaihan is a better weed than you?
Why don't teams take lanes like Kate Lux into Smolder? It's a good question.
No, I couldn't match. Absolutely not. No,
I would think that would be pretty effective.
I'm a big hobbyist.
The thing about Kate Lux is like it's a lot less flexible in the early game, and everything just comes down to playing around your bot side then. Whereas, you know, you have more laning options, I feel, as Lucian Nami, right? You don't have to just hard press the entire time. Caitlyn Lux is strong. It's just very binary gameplay. Zeus is 11-0 on Aatrox. Yes, he's won 100% of his Aatrox games so far this year. He's not undefeated on Aatrox in his career, but this year he is. In spring
but especially
The
for
year of our
T1,
Lord,
it's scary to
2024.
just play Nami every game. And I'm like, yeah, you're not going to get Senna ever, but it also just feels like he is just kind of locked into this pick that's an Enchantress. You can land bubbles, you can change games with your tidal wave, but it's not necessarily a hugely skill.
What changes would you make to Dplus given my control of the roster? Well, they need to find themselves a fucking shot caller, because that's their main problem right now.
Sad to watch Keria just playing the Nami every game.
I mean, adding aiming Kingen and Lucid does not fix shot calling problems that they had. Like, it's unreasonable to expect Lucid to do it as a rookie player.
He is still dunking on scrims.
Keria just got that
Unless
play
he's
solo.
god tier like Milky Way.
Ideal.
Fed Nami, okay. He's like,
No.
I hear you, Valdez. I'm
No.
going to carry this game.
No, not Fat Nami, Veldis, no.
Why
Need
not?
Fat Lucian. Wow. Okay, he took the second tower shot as well. I'm like, you can take the one tower shot and feel great about the trade, but I would have much rather he just proxied. Might be looking for a proxy on the follow-up wave, but
Yeah, they probably do need a support shot caller. I agree with that.
Menace in lane, as we have already mentioned the cast many times. He also remains in powers aiming. That's I don't know. That's like the first.
They need barrel back,
boss.
guys.
I gotta be careful with those, especially as Smolder because of how.
Has there ever been a Chinese import in LCK? No.
Exponentially, so you're really
There have never been any imports in LCK of any nationality.
by itself not really going to do the heavy lifting that you need. Yeah, the only thing that I think is sad about Renekton is that Core Drinker is gone, and you don't get the full dopamine that you still get with Aatrox, where like you go in and then you just your Q, which it doesn't feel the same.
Yamato is a coach.
Quite hit the same, but I'd say it's still pretty strong. Faker's going
Reckless is not an LCK.
Big Master Q to the face.
He will never be an
Outside
LCK.
shove. Faker's going to have to back away. He does have a biscuit and is going to hit level 5 in that trade, so he is fine, but he's still going to go for...
Technically, in the OGN days, CLG played in Korea. Yeah, but they weren't part of a Korean org.
Lucid, considering coming on in, but there's a ward and he will be spotted out.
No Korean org has ever fielded a non-Korean player.
Yeah, it was pinged as well, the ward, so DK did know that there wasn't really a gank opportunity, but still gonna force Guma and Keria to play at least a little bit more respectful just in case of a play, as we do see Faker actually TP'd already, so he was down in TP, his lane really struggling into this Karma, and that should allow Lucid to pick up as the bubble.
Yeah, the bubble is gonna land. Aiming though does get heal.
Yeah, once Keria gets a wrist injury like Faker, then that's when Reckless will make his glorious debut.
At least at this point, Guma and Keria are pretty low on mana. They need to go for a back themselves. So.
Huni was EU player, obviously.
Advantage.
I mean,
So aiming's fine.
that's true. He did actually, he was a rookie, not in Korea.
His owner, the rare early gank Showmaker, that's
never gonna work.
No.
They are gonna still fear and just maybe try to help him get out of lane. There's no seismic shove. The second Faker misses seismic shove, the gank is never gonna work. So yeah. Also, Karma has a speed up with her Spire, which allows her to run away from it.
Yeah.
Especially going tier 2 boots tier 2 boots first. Yeah. Also, Karma has a speed up with her Spire, which allows her to run
Interesting.
away.
Yeah.
Especially going tier 2 boots first. Tier 2 boots
Fistigons 25. Thank you for your tier 1 sub. T1 versus TES MSI Finals waiting room. Yeah, that'd be fun.
They will get the dragon for this.
I mean, MSI is going to be a banger, guys.
But Lucid is going to get.
Did Core start on Dig? No, he started on Big File Miracle in Korea.
As well as forced his TP. So a lot of this, I think, does show.
He was an AD carry player. He was like a Varus one trick, and he played an OGN on a team called Big File Miracle. I remember Crumbs messaging me back in the day and been like, "What do you know about this core guy?" And I was like, "He plays Varus." He's like, "Okay, well, we're getting him for Dignitas." It's like, all right.
Just as to show his face. In the early game for DK, if they can generate a
No, Core was on Dignitas before he went to Samsung. He played in NA in LCS, and then he went to Samsung. He went back to Korea and won Worlds. And he switched to support.
A decent amount of threat on the enemy team. But a single Drake and a topside lead, have King and roam over for like the third Drake fight. There's plenty of opportunity here as owner will steal away Lucid' red buff here. Lucid will know that this is being taken, but he is he's Maokai and he doesn't have bot lane prior. So just has to be sad.
Yeah. I think all things considered, DK should be very happy with the way this early game is going. Yeah. Singular Mountain Drake going to T1 is like...
Yeah, the farm is not going terribly
based on the comp,
in the bot side right now. Aiming's at 32. I mean, it's low amount of stacks because he's been shoved into turret.
So, of course, they do want to get this objective anyway. We have a little bit of a fight here. It is 3v2, but Smolder is not a champion, so...
Dude, Smolder is so bad at skirmishing. Junglers fucking hate Smolder. You know, the two champions that junglers hate... No, three champions that junglers hate most are Aurelion Sol, Smolder, and Yuumi. Because you absolutely cannot fight in any of those situations. It is fucking miserable.
Actually get his crash. Not sure if he can pick up maybe a plan. That was... DK could have gone for a play there, but Owner, I think, was just about to hit 6. As, man, this mid lane, Showmaker's absolutely dunking.
What about Cog? Can he fight? Yeah, he can press W and do a lot of damage at least.
Yeah.
Dude, Asol is fucking the worst champion in the fucking game if you're a jungler. Like, especially because he's played mid lane. That's the real problem. Is like you just lose all river control, top or bot. You can never take any objectives in river. It's so fucking annoying.
Obviously, way back when
they just invade your jungle for free and just like kill you in your jungle, and your Asol just sits there like a turd in mid lane. It's the worst.
Let's see if this counter gank does work. No Dominus available. Double dash is going to come out, but now the Nature's Grab, they are turning it onto Owner, but not enough.
Nice flash.
Obviously, way back when they changed.
It's crazy that this is the level 6 gank as well. And it gets turned around like this. I mean, Kingen has a lot of fury right now, and Lucid just comes in, flashes right away, forces flash from Zeus. They go under Renekton, but he has an empowered Q. Nice slice and dice out of the fear tether. They get a nice stun down, flash Q again. And Showmaker's here now. Jesus, that went badly. Really well played by Dplus, honestly. Thank you, I am Bomo, for your Twitch Prime sub. I take all your Bezos bucks, guys. They are very much appreciated. Also, I have memberships open on YouTube now.
Maokai might not be that strong in these type of extended fights, but
new thumbnail had me cackling. YouTubers, how do you like my new thumbnail for YouTube? Did it make you click on my stream more?
Yeah, Showmaker arriving there, cherry on top of the cake. Normally, Talia has a lot of map presence, but as we pointed out, and that this is partially due to the matchup, partially due to Showmaker just doing a great job. Right now, there is no opportunity to roam. As we take another look here, the empowered healing on the Q going off is so big here because it means that Kingen stays alive for so much longer, gets his Conqueror, and then the flash Q to ensure Zeus does not get...
Lucid plays this really well, actually.
So there also is an opportunity for him to maybe try...
Blowing the Aatrox's flash early prevented the follow-up. You know, this is just a split call, basically. Guys, if we're actually going to look at, you know, what happened here, is that, you know, it was a surprise. Like, Owner is looking for this gank, and they just flash right in. They play aggressively, and Owner can't get there in time. He's worried about... Zeus is worried about getting queued back into this Furied Renekton and getting stun locked, but he actually just can't provide any kind of damage. You know, everything misses. And Kingen plays that very well. Gets out of the fear tether. There's no crowd control. Is able to keep his flash-empowered Q. And then Lucid just, you know, plays defense, and Showmaker comes to finish him off. It's a nice run by Showmaker also.
A 1-for-1 trade. And now, like, early Eclipse.
What's the red share diff from YouTube member versus Twitch sub? It's the same for me. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. This is not going to look good for him.
Owner doesn't have ult. So it's no... He isn't really in an opportunity either to easily fix his lane state. Oh, God.
My guy. He is desperate. I mean... What can you do except try to take some trade?
Premium on here is simply too convenient. Your best new change. Yeah, if you have YouTube Premium, I guess you get free months of membership on my channel as well. So I guess it's kind of like Twitch Prime, I guess. I don't know exactly how it works, but that's what I was told. And then also, I will, for premium members, I will release videos like power rankings and stuff early for members.
he's kind of caught between a rock wall and a hard place. He is desperate. I mean, what can you do except try to take some trades and look for something?
Sorry, I was looking at this right now. I mean, he's walking dangerously into river.
He is desperate. I mean, what can you
It's a good wall by Faker. Bisects Showmaker and Lucid. And Carry is also on the roam, so he shouldn't be walking there, though. There's no point in doing that. It's a minute until next Drake. He should be focusing on top side at this point in time, I think. Not having flash is really hurting Zeus' ability to get kills in his last couple of ganks.
Yeah, neither of them had flash available, otherwise that could have gone very differently as ult.
Kellen comes in, ult used by Kellen, and he will be just fine.
Really nice pick onto Lucid there. Well done by Fakers.
This is YouTube favoritism. Look, man, I can't control the tools that the platforms allow me to use.
You can't walk up. You don't have flash. He's a collapse.
Mazone! Hope you're having a great day so far. I hope you are having a great day so far, too, Mazone. I am having a perfectly fine day. Just getting more business deals done in the morning. Taking a little nap. Coming back fresh and ready. Because I was up until 2 a.m. last night for Power Spike.
And you're not in any rush. And this Renekton, every time he shows up now to a fight, T1 are really going to have to bring their A-game not to get run over by this crocodile.
Yeah. See, they're trying to pressure, aiming under the turret, but he's got Mom to help out here. Still gonna get a bit of poke damage down, and it's an Ocean Soul against this
The
wall.
real Bales. Thank you for your Twitch Prime sub.
Poke with Karma and Smolder. Sure, that is not the soul you were hoping for as T1. Try to snowball this into a bit more. Because now you're behind, and yeah, you've got a bunch of Drakes, but they're not going to be extremely useful in this one. As Showmaker looking for the play, is going to force the flash out, but did he go too far is the question. Owner is right here, and that is going to be the end of Showmaker's reign over this mid lane for now.
Big moment there as the mid-jungle duo for T1.
Thank you, Avalon Blue, for your YouTube membership. Much appreciated. All right, let's take a look at this.
Big moment there.
Force the flash out.
Really surprising that they want to actually fight for grubs here. Showmaker dodges Talia W, flashes out, does get fear tethered. It's a nice counter gank.
Showmaker's reign over this mid lane for now.
Big moment there as the mid-jungle duo for T1 finds another successful play, keeping this gold even.
Oh, just turning on him. Smite. Ult. Double Q. Kellen's here. Oh, he didn't get enough fury. That's a bummer.
Really cute there from King, and he actually walked back and used one of the tiny mites to get his E so that he could get the second E. Didn't end up mattering because Owner was still holding on to the spell shield.
Do I know the results of the game? I do, but it is my first time watching them.
It does end up backfiring a little bit.
Is Guma okay? I'm not even sure, though. At least
has to use Cleanse.
Cleanse comes out.
Karma already has Malignance. Interesting. All right, so they're having Karma actually go into the side lane just so aiming's in a 1v1. This is really bad by Showmaker, honestly. Like, why the fuck is he doing this when he knows that Nocturne ult is up and they're trying to take mites in top river? Or grubs, rather. It's bad. Aiming just getting a bunch of free stacks, though, from that harass. It's 77. His stacks are very low for this point in the game, but now that he's going to be in the top or in the mid lane, like, I like this, okay? Think about this. We don't see a lot of teams doing this, but this is actually a good macro move, I think. You move the Karma, who already has Malignance, so you hit the one-item power spike on the Karma, put Karma into the side lane versus the AD carry, and you give solo XP, you know, over to Smolder in the mid lane, and you can have your Melio kind of roam around the map. So you have the good Karma wave clear and harassment in the bot side. She's very safe.
He's just been put so far behind, and DK did such a great job, and Zeus was not able to match in this.
I have no idea why I continue to support the man that got me into a very abusive relationship with KT Rolster, but here we are 7 years later. Well, I've given up on KT this year. As soon as I saw this year's roster, I decided that I hated KT this year. So I'm hopeful that in the future KT can win my heart back, but I cannot support a Pioshik team, guys. That I have limits.
Right here, right now. And
Where's Faker just gonna shove?
I'm ride or die with my boy Keen now.
And they are looking to challenge this. Kingen is coming over. He is the raid boss right now on the side of DK. And they get it pretty much for free. Now we get the engage coming on in, and a nice blast going to...
That actually, blast cone is huge. That's actually huge.
Can he dodge everything forever? No,
Still dies.
cannot.
It's really nice dodging by Showmaker, though.
And at least they do get that killed. So actually, T1 moving ahead in terms of the...
Yeah, T1, though, getting mid-turret is pretty fucking nice, because the whole purpose of getting this Herald is... You know, the ideal way to deal with this Herald is to either take a tier 2 in side lane or mid turret, tier 1. And so if you're trading it for the tier 1 in mid, you're already, like, basically, you know, guaranteeing that tier 1 mid goes down, whereas the Herald might not do that, right? Man, Faker's been so good this season. His Talia walls have been on point, guys. But this is exactly how you want this to work. Now, the Talia wall is a bit problematic because Smolder obviously has E, so he can just go over the wall. But you want to isolate somebody so you can play super aggressive with Lucian's single target damage and just blow them the fuck up. So, you know, having this in the middle of the fights makes a lot of sense. That blast cone is super good. It's just sad that Showmaker couldn't also get over the wall here. It was close. It was real close. He dodges W, though.
Dodging everything. Can he dodge everything forever? No, he cannot. As finally they do take him down. And at least they do get that killed. So actually T1 moving ahead in terms of the gold lead.
Big win there for T1 as the wave attempt to save, but there was another wave coming in, so I don't know about that one. They get the Herald, but they do have to really pay for it. I think there is the power of paranoia, because with full vision, we knew DK could have probably tried to turn around that fight, but giving up Showmaker by itself, not the end of the world. The big thing here, though, is that they already got the bot side turret, so they got a really big amount of gold from that. And then here, the blast cone ends up saving aiming, but unfortunately Showmaker, even though he stalls for a decent amount of time, Zeus still finds him. There you see, like, the health bars are full. They could have gone in, but they don't really know the landscape of the fight, so they opt not to run the risk. And now
still not even 100 stacks, though, at 15 minutes.
Is it enough? Because Smolder, as we all know, can basically be non-existent, and as long
trying
as
to just queue. There we go.
you can win the game.
There's no small raptors, but it will take the big raptor.
Shouldn't come as a surprise. Good buy there by Lucid, and he also clicked on aim.
Oh, he took it with his pet. Rip.
Yeah.
Clicked on the hypercarry.
That's the skill expression that I love to see in my League of Legends.
Yeah, I do think that
That bad play in mid cut shows Showmaker to die twice since he had no flash there. That's true. I mean, the play in mid really was pretty egregious into a Nocturne.
With this cleanse, and he will be okay. Gets the flash out of Lucid.
That's
a bit overzealous on that play.
Yeah, that's a win. Maybe they thought that he was out of his cleanse.
L clear 250 at 19. I mean, it depends on how well you do in your lane too.
And the big thing do notice is that if there is no Crocodile, then DK really needs respect, because their AD carry isn't a real dragon yet. He's just a baby dragon. He's not even, you know, we're not even talking about close to Elder.
Not even 125.
This is Chemtech level. He really needs to chill.
Not a Chemtech Drake on your team.
Oh, they're going to commit to this.
Weren't you trying to get in the CS world at some point? I was the commissioner of a Counter-Strike league for like 2.5 years. I think I successfully did that.
And without Zeus, without TP, they have to run away.
That's the big thing. DK know if we invest our TP, they cannot commit to this because Zeus can't join the fight. If they get a mid lane turret for this, there would still be a colossal win, as aiming is just going to walk up the wall.
Ball comes in, and yes, they are going to catch aiming, but this is under a turret, so...
With Milio. He does have to use his barrier, though, so that's nice.
They got the barrier.
Yeah!
Still not a good play.
Turret for this, there would still be a colossal win, as aiming is just going to walk up the wall.
Ball comes in, and yes, they are going to catch aiming, but this is...
I have no follow-up damage. They're not actually diving the turret.
With Milio.
Awkward.
He does have to use his barrier, though, so that's nice.
They got the barrier.
Yeah!
Still not a good play.
It wasn't. They might trade top side.
As an analyst commentator, I mean, getting into CS analysis would be very difficult for me because the competition is against with analysts who have been doing this for like 20 years, guys. So catching up is very hard in Counter-Strike. But I also just don't have ambition to, you know, go on to a... No, I have a family. Like, traveling 200 days a year on a competitive circuit sounds horrific right now. Plus, don't want to be the bitch of Saudi Arabia. Nice. All right. Lucid goes in, gets the combo. Owner flashes. But they take a lot of damage here. It's a nice flip. Faker has to flash out of the way of Lucid before W comes up. Where's W? Tether lands. W, and he's dead.
Big shield's coming out, but he will die eventually. Question is, yep, Showmaker will be given the shutdown, and this is a massive swing in favor of DK. They should be able to take
very good for DK.
Ooh, Lucid, is he going to get taken down here? Guma ends up going for the brush instead, so Lucid should be fine.
It's crazy they could do that when Lucid's ult wasn't even up.
Picking up a topside turret. But then on the flip side, so did Kingen. So a lot of it is invested, but second item now...
How does someone break into the league casting scene outside of casting, breaking down games for content casually? You don't. That's the way to do it. And also, there probably is no breaking into the league casting scene because there's too many people who are already better known than you trying to do it and not getting very far. Because they keep cutting casting teams, making them smaller and smaller. Like, look at what happened to LPL. And paying less and less money. So my advice is it's a waste of time. Don't do it.
Too far forward, ends up having to pay with some of their lives. And now I think aiming sitting at like 135. Once you pass the 125 threshold, it's going to rapidly accelerate. There we go. Already at 140 now.
He's been in mid for so long, too. I mean, they are very obviously trying to feed him as many stacks as possible. Like, they rotated him over as early as they possibly could. Emilio got him.
It's at 144 now at 19. It's still... he stacks faster now, but it's still going to be a while.
Yeah, good call. That was like 100%.
We saw the wall coming up, guys.
No, it was a bait. No, it was a misclick.
No, it wasn't a misclick. He saw the Talia wall. What happens here is he goes inside. I think he sees the Talia wall and he makes the decision. I don't think he... I mean, it's possible he misclicked going into... That would be a weird misclick. I mean, he shouldn't be the one going into the Herald, obviously. But also, like, I guess he may have just been clicking back and clicked into it. But the Talia wall also... I guess he does start to curve it before the Talia wall comes up, but he wasn't going to get past that Talia wall anyway. So it doesn't matter.
400 IQ baited out the Talia wall. Yeah.
Didn't get the charge. Yeah, he should be lucky that he could steer away from certain death. Yeah. That would have been, a tragedy.
Since when has Riot Games started to cut casting costs? For years? They basically have frozen caster rates for years now. Because they have a monopoly, so you can't negotiate with them. And they also just cut the number of casters that they use across leagues for the most part.
Which is not always easy, to be honest. And he also went for the Dream, I always call it the bubble support item. Dreammaker and Redemption. So he's going to be keeping him alive quite a lot here with the Knight's Vow that you point out. I mean, Smolder is going to be somewhat difficult to kill, I'd say, between the two of them and the amount of disengage that they have. You know, you've got Karma Shields as well. It's a pretty obnoxious comp to play into that DK have built here.
What if I'm a non-white female caster? You know, I think your odds might go up. If we're being real, I think you might have some better odds.
But they got like 3-4 plates, perma prio. We're able to stack 2 dragons, but it was the top side of the map where the troubles really...
And unfortunately, there's...
Let's just say, I doubt it would hurt you.
That is...
I doubt it would hurt your chances.
The biggest downfall of that...
That's the real issue. Versus a Smolder that now has his Shojin done as well. So those stacks going to come through even quicker. And now DK can decide, hey, we don't need to go for this fight. This is just soul point. Leave it be. TP comes in from Faker, 161. So I imagine DK is going to say, hey, we're just going to take mid lane turret and be happy with that.
Yeah, Lucid hits level 11 by smiting away the big raptor. Feel pretty good about that right before this fight does begin, as it does look like DK still wants to fight this one. Not willing to give away even the soul points. And
167 at 22 minutes. They did a good job of keeping the smolder down, guys, and preventing him from trading with abilities in the laning phase, but eventually he's going to be relevant. They just have to wait. I mean, you flash for Lucid flash for that. It's not worth. He trades flash for flash, I guess. Just give up this Drake. Like, you can actually afford to wait 5 minutes here if you're Dplus to get your 225 stacks and just fight the next one, I think.
He's going to use it. King is pretty zoned away from this one. We do have Paranoia as
all right, everybody just
doesn't really do much. And now they're going
to go using their ults.
Not sure about that one, owner. He is in a bit of trouble now, as Lucid also, but he is going to be saved by the
owner's trolling.
Doesn't really do much. And now they're going to go in onto King and
big heal straight into stun. Slice and dice onto owner.
Lucid also, but he is going to be saved by the Milio once again.
All right.
Will go the jungler of T1. Although some low health bars here on the side of DK.
Thoughts on Lucid? He does not seem to be living up to his potential. I mean, I think he's been all right. He's made rookie mistakes, but he has no shot calling on his team.
He has to. Like, he doesn't have a choice.
Yeah.
I think his team fighting has generally been quite strong.
This is their window, with Smaller still only sitting at 187. But yeah, so basically with Maokai, your engage just isn't that good. Like, your counter engage is great, but trying to force plays like that, you're not playing Rel. It's take a little bit easy.
Maybe he thought he was playing Rel.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's been playing like it. Like, with Maokai, you just can't really make the plays the way that you do with Rel, even though you have point-and-click CC and great lockdown, unless it's in a pick situation. But now, like, aiming might actually hit it. Like, look at the way that the poke is being invalidated.
Man.
Whereas the poke from DK, whoo, Horizon focus coming up big there.
Yeah.
That's second Drake going over.
And the more you get these Ocean Drakes, the more the poke wars will go.
This is great for Dplus, actually.
We're already winning them. And they're gonna have
this is great.
They're denying T1
having a fat front line with Karma and Maokai and Renekton with a possibility of an Ocean Soul feels pretty good for Dplus. Plus, they can extend the game now. Yeah, it's not bad. He's almost at 200 stacks. He's getting there. Should get there by, like, what, 26 minutes probably?
Such a massive lead in the top lane. Just makes it even more comfortable.
Why is aiming underperforming compared to last year? Well, he was on a team that had shot calling last year that probably prevented his brain from doing the aiming things that it does because there was some sort of override.
He's like, please go on.
The Lehens override. And also, I mean, aiming is an extremely high resource scaling AD carry player. So the meta, especially with Zeri, was very good for him. Do you stream watching VODs of other regions as well? Yeah, I stream all regions. I watch Bangers Only is the curation of professional League of Legends, guys. The last few days I've been streaming like LEC and LCS games. LPL games. I did last one I did was what? FPX versus JDG, then a bunch of LEC games.
You know, like you can itemize as much as you want, but the comp diff might be a bit too big. As
I'm in Korea at the moment.
Zone them away from the middle there for 2 seconds.
I left the US in September of last year.
Oh, I thought you already put the POG vote in the jungle box already. No.
You know that you're joking.
Top versus JDG today? I know. We're going to watch that one tomorrow, guys. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. And I mean, DK, they're just sitting around. And that's fine. Because for them, that's all they need to do, right?
They're just sitting. You know the meme
sitting there
format?
menacingly.
Or like, it's just Velda. It's just a headshot of you saying, they're sitting around. And that is fine. I want to someone make that.
226. Just past the 225 mark.
Happy Dragon. He got rapid fire cannon done as well. He has Kellen, giving him even more range. We have this unstoppable crocodile. The only thing I think, that stands between this small to winning the game is just DK's natural talent for not winning games from this position. They do really.
We did it. 26 minutes, right? I was right on the nose with that timing. Will you eventually be a guest on LCK broadcast? No.
I think aiming is just going to start 1v9ing these team fights with comp that's
I have no desire to do that.
You know, you might look at the gold and say, well, T1 are ahead. Like, doesn't that mean something? I would say that they just don't use the gold as well, especially as the game goes along. Like, yes, Guma is quite fed. And he can burst people down, especially Lucid out of position. These are the picks you're going to be looking for if you are T1. As Lucid's going in, actually...
Man, Faker's walls have been really on point. He's having a great season.
Lucid out of position. These are the... I would say that they just don't use the gold.
Lucid has not been respectful enough this game. You're walking into the bot river, trying to do Gromp here. You have to remember you're playing against Talia and Nocturne. And also, I mean, T1 is just the best pick team in the world. So you have to realize that they will find ways to engage on you, even if you're slightly out of position. That is their whole identity. Now they do Baron. So I guess it's just over because Lucid did Gromp. It reminds me of that Fnatic game. The Fnatic game where they were ahead, and Razorka just did Gromp to lose. Yeah, it's super wacky, this play, because he has ult and flash up, right? He can flash over to Leah Wall, but instead he flashes to go on to Faker. I mean, who is going to follow up in that circumstance?
Let's see if they want to start it up. Oh, really rough there by Lucid. If he flashes over the wall immediately, then maybe they're able to get out of here alive. Instead, he ends up going down. That's no smite. This might have been the turn that T1 were looking for.
Faker just mind controlled him to waste flash.
Throw in Mom just to poke a bit, but yeah, this should be a free Baron over to their side, and now DK a bit out of position, getting TP'd behind. Faker could easily throw it on the wall. Nice amount of poke damage is coming out from the side of DK, and T1 just one.
Faker doesn't have wall, Valdez. He just used it.
They don't want to risk it. Instead, just trying to get Prio here in mid.
Imagine if they had a Maokai.
Would you say Faker has maintained consistency throughout his career? I mean, he definitely wasn't as good. Like, he's been really good the last two spring splits, I would say. So this year's spring and last year's spring. But, you know, he's transformed himself into much more of an in-game leader and role player on his team and shot caller. I mean, he's probably the second best mid in LCK this split. He's doing great, don't get me wrong. But he's not, like, the crazy dominant player that he was 2013 through 2016. Like, that was, I mean, his peak in those years was bonkers. But the amazing thing really is that he's transformed himself into a different kind of player. And there's no guarantee that a player like becomes an effective, you know, macro leader in game from being a micro lane god.
They are going up against Baron buffed T1 at the moment to make it a bit more difficult.
Faker looking for a wall angle here.
So he's found a different way to be extremely good. Right, he has now transformed his decade of game knowledge into you know, being a leader on a roster with a bunch of young mechanically gifted players that he can puppet master, all while still being very good himself.
They know he's there, and it seems like they want to go forward. Here comes the tidal wave. Might catch Kellen. A nice amount of burst damage does come out from Guma, as now trying to go on the chase. They know he's there, and it seems like they want to go forward. Here comes the tidal wave.
Tidal wave as an engage tool is pretty ineffective. Kingin actually flashes the wall here, tries to catch out Faker, forces Faker's flash, culling onto the front line. When did Lucid use ult? He used it here. I have not been impressed with Lucid's ult usage this game, guys, because he uses it. Yeah, that ult, not great. It'd be much better if they had it once they got here onto Drake priority. So Faker no flash right now.
this
Paranoia
time
is
around.
gone. Talia wall is gone. Like, all ults except for Aatrox ult are gone. Smolder ult's still here. Milio ult, very importantly, is still around.
At this point in the game, before it goes too much farther, aiming is gonna
Oh
get
my
pulled.
god, he caught
Going to retreat.
aiming,
Very tense moment,
buddy.
a pretty close fight at this point as Guma trying to make himself felt at this point in the game before it
Keria literally just walks up and bubbles
goes
him.
too much farther. Aiming is going to get bubbled as he does have that very aggressive positioning. Here comes Mom as they have the engage from behind onto
Okay, he kites him out with E. Renekton said, oh my, what a great play by Zeus, guys. Look at this. He baits him so hard. So he E's out of the chains, right? And Zeus walks back, pretending that he's not going to go back in. He's using the Ocean Soul map brush here, starts his animation, and just flashes on top of aiming. Dude, aiming getting caught in the front line here is, I mean, this is so bad. But huge play by Zeus.
Yes, DK will get the dragon, but they are getting absolutely swept off the map here, as it will be a clean ace in favor of T1 on the dragon fight.
Do not worry, says T1.
Including the Vitality versus BDS you promised yesterday. Yeah, hopefully we'll get around to that.
Moment of weakness, and that moment of weakness DK did give them. It starts with the Baron, but that I think they could have come back from. Now, one
will be. They take away aiming.
I mean, he gets, I mean, aiming like doesn't flash in any of these situations. He doesn't flash bubble. He gets out of this one, and that's correct. But they literally have eyes on him because Lucid is in this brush, and he doesn't respect the fact that this Aatrox can just flash during that animation. Like, you do kind of have to preemptively flash that, but I mean, dying, like getting hit by bubble and by that engage is pretty shitty. That's it. Bad team fighting from aiming, honestly. Very bad.
do not worry, says T1. All we need.
And Maokai ult has been used egregiously badly this game by Lucid. Like, this is what I'm talking about with Dplus, guys. Like, so why are we trying to create picks with Maokai ult? You know, they really struggle with, like, win condition. You know, Maokai ult is for peeling in this composition. The only thing you're trying to accomplish is peeling for aiming. So why are we using it to, like, shove out the mid lane? You need to use it for counter engage because you're trying to make a shield wall and use karma shields and speed to kite. Right? Like, don't use it aggressively. Wait until they use Paranoia or Talia wall or Tidal Wave, and then use the Maokai ult to prevent the engage. Like, you just, in a different style of composition, guys, you can engage with the Maokai ultimate, but your whole composition is built around Smolder. Dplus's like macro is so bad.
They're up in the stratosphere, Valdez. And yeah, you got a soul point. Not going to be the difference maker.
Yeah, I mean, they were staking their claim on that one, and they had already taken so much damage. And the fact, it's going to get split up here, so Kingan's going to go into the back line as Zeus does.
I mean, because, like, the thing is that aiming forces Kellen to use ult on him early because he gets hit by bubble instead of flashing it.
Aiming, trying to move forward, gets hit. The thing is, though, I felt like they actually turned a corner.
Owner almost died there to the execute, but doesn't. You know, it's Zeus is in vision. Like, if he was in this brush and didn't have vision, it would be more excusable, but whatever.
Zeus on top of him, lethality Aatrox. The man was scaling all along, and
I'd say don't run at the Aatrox with flash.
I mean, it's also things like, why is Kingan going in here?
Kingan's going to go into the back line as Zeus does. But Kingan is the one that goes down.
Right, he's trying to provide room, but basically Kingan's not doing his job either. Kingan's job is to guard flanks. Like, he is the one who should be probably looking for Zeus on this flank and marking him. And after the Drake is dead, remember, the Drake just dies here to ult, smite. And all Kingan has to do is then zone out this front line. They have no ults, remember. The only ult they have is Aatrox ult. And so all he has to do is just provide frontline interference so that they can collapse on the Aatrox and kill him. And instead he goes in onto Owner. It's very bad, guys. Like, Dplus is fucking fraudulent. This team is bad.
I'd say don't run at the Aatrox with Flash. That would be... He said, this is good.
Chua. I like it.
Small below. And really, that was it. I mean, got him as well. If DK were able to maintain a front line and not get Aatroxed in the face, they might have been okay. But the second that aiming gets engaged...
Do you think Chovy will finally get his redemption arc this year? I hope so, man, but... You know, I am concerned about Chovy and Keen's international performances.
Yeah, there are a couple of key problems there. Obviously,
maybe Canyon can save them with his great international performances.
When you pick Maokai in a competition like this, you gotta stop using his ultimate as an engaged. It just doesn't work. Like every single time, because they have Nami, they have so much speed.
Have I missed the new tier list? No, I haven't recorded it yet, guys.
And then secondly, you're always gonna have to be on the front foot if you are playing smaller, because you want to try and get as many Qs off as possible. But at the same time, I feel like we should stop falling for the, oh, look at lethality Aatrox. He is low. No, he's not. It's not real.
So now it's a 10,000 gold lead, and it's not possible to win, especially with the way that Dplus is playing. The throws by aiming and Lucid have been real. Or Showmaker, man. Even Kingan's been pretty good this game. Outside of that last fight.
Is the one that's trying to push everybody away, and he does have an insane amount of damage. Look at Lucid's health bar. He's got 2 armor items as well. Doesn't seem to matter as Nature's Grasp comes in, and they kind of laugh at them as they are not engaging into that. They get the Baron, and now they're just running away. Free Baron here for the set of T1. DK could do nothing about that.
Lucid, only level 13. He is so weak. So
last time I rode a horse, maybe when I was playing polo in college. It's been a long time. I've probably ridden a horse since then. It's been a while though, guys.
If it was 15 seconds earlier, that would have worked.
I should go horseback riding. When I get back to Colorado, guys, I will go ride horses again.
Looks for the end there, especially with Baron.
Well, they're probably going to lose that inhibitor anyway. Try to find whatever angle I can to get.
It's the best first message I've seen in years.
Trying to be as
Safamia, do you even follow me?
You know, as Wolf has said many times,
where did I study? What did you study? English literature.
Say something else.
I need a gin recommendation. Empress. There you go.
Nice if they could get it.
Serpent's Fang. The value, Valdez. The shielding that's getting reduced. I think they have 2 as well. If I saw correctly, I think Zeus also built one.
Thoughts on Jane Austen? She's okay.
All right, getting in on the Faker, the engage with the W comes out once again, but Ingo's owner trying to zone away, and now Lucid is getting chunked out. Down he will go, King and Lucid.
Shout out to Mr. Darcy.
As the rest of them got pushed away by owner, who was surprisingly tanky. He's buying so much time, he's going to flash away. And there is the massive damage coming out from Zeus and Faker into that back line. And that should do it, guys. T1, they find the angle in the team fight. The TP goes into the top lane, and this game will end in favor of
what LCK and LPL teams do I like? Gen.G and I think BLG is probably my favorite right now, but FPX is really fun.
What did we learn? I don't know. I'm glad that we have our space, I'm sure, standing, waiting, ready to tell us.
I feel so sad watching Dplus, guys. That was such a winnable game for them, but they don't know how to actually play win conditions of their comps. Really fucking bad team fighting.
Fight at the end as well.